Let them eat cake!
I'm Kristen from Wicked Goodies, and today I'm here to talk about
let them eat cake!
I hear this phrase a lot. For instance, I'll be at a party in the middle of cutting the cake, and some dude will be like,
let them eat cake!
I see more and more bakeries popping up with that name too. On Facebook alone, there are over 100 businesses with that title. I see it used in taglines and marketing campaigns. It's all over the place. But that phrase, it's actually a slur. Let me back up and explain. Here's the story of Let Them Eat Cake. About 230 years ago, in the country of France, there was a major problem brewing. At that time, there was a king named Louis XVI and a queen named Marie Antoinette. They were super rich. They lived in a palace where servants prepared all kinds of fancy meals and delicate pastries. There was food galore, piles of it. Inside the palace, life was extravagant. Meanwhile, outside of the palace, people were starving. Taxes were high, and those taxes were mostly enriching the lifestyle of the king and queen. So a lot of people couldn't even afford to buy a loaf of bread. Now, at that point in time, bread was a staple of the French diet, even more so than it is now. But the price of grain had gone up due to deregulations. So it was growing increasingly more difficult for people to eat. The people started rioting in the streets. It was called the Bread Riots. That was the beginning of a major historical event known as the French Revolution. Now, we don't know for sure who said it and when it was said, but the story goes that Queen Marie Antoinette, upon learning that the commoners were rioting outside, said to one of her many servants,
"We'll give them some bread, then."
And the servant said something like,
"But Your Majesty, don't you remember we had that gigantic fancy party last night, so we're all out of bread?"
And then the queen said,
"Well, let them eat brioche, then."
So the phrase was never let them eat cake in the first place. It was let them eat brioche. But we don't have a word for brioche in English, so it got translated as cake. Now, brioche, which is made from butter, eggs, and refined flour, was not the bread of the common people back then. It was the bread of royalty. It was a delicacy. Handing out a pile of brioche as a solution to the starvation issue was the equivalent of a billionaire donating his paycheck to a cause that he already defunded. Now, for the record, the King and Queen of France both got their heads chopped off in a guillotine. And let them eat cake became a symbol of wealth inequality. To this day in France, those words reflect the ignorance of the greediest, most privileged people. That phrase does not have positive connotations, so bakers, I urge you not to use those words for your business.
Let them eat cake!
This week's giveaway is a bunch of plunger cutters. If you are interested in winning this package, all you have to do is leave a comment below. I'd love to hear about your business name, how you chose it, and what it means to you. If you don't yet run a business, then I'm curious to hear about any business name that you think is cool or are considering for your own. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon.